Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. Dear viewers, we're going to continue our discussion about how we're going to present our lessons in the light of the lesson plans that we've discussed. I'd like to take one or two before we shift to another one. Who's going to go? Seems that the brothers already ended. We want you to discuss. Let's take you first if you're ready, and then we'll come back to you, and then we'll end up with the sister. Okay.
Assalamu alaikum.
Alaikum assalam.
This is grade 5. It's poem using technique of personification, which is giving human characteristics to non-living things. I would begin the lesson by rectifying problem areas which I encountered in the last class, which was students having difficulties in understanding words and their meanings. So I would ask them to do some research and find out the meanings from the dictionary themselves.
Okay.
The activities that I would resort to would include discussion and explanation of the concept, which would be reading out many poems with personification techniques, wherein the students would be required to identify the personification.
Can you clarify to me what do you mean by many poems?
Many poems as in the poems which are included in the course material, as well as the poems outside the course, out of the course.
I want to understand exactly how many. How do you?
Number would be
200 million poems are you expecting, or?
No, approximately 4 to 5 poems, short
Yes.
poems, so that I'm able to fit in within the stipulated amount of time.
Okay. If I were you, I would have listed 45 instead of making it many, because many for some people it may be 7, and for others 200 million. Okay.
Yeah, this is keeping in mind grade 5, so I wouldn't resort to a large number, depending on the comprehension levels of the students
I wouldn't
as well.
expect even grade 5 would have 45 poems.
4 to 5.
4 to 5. I always forget 2. 4 to 5. Very good. So it's not that many that I expected. So from the very beginning, to remove the confusion, I need to be specific. We need to speak specific language. My target is that they will be exposed to 5 poems. So it's very clear cut. This is a lesson for all of us now. Okay? Good?
The usage of resources would be that I would show them relevant PowerPoint slides and presentations, wherein once again I would have all jumbled up poems. Some would include the techniques of personification in them, wherein the others would not have them at all, and the students would be required to identify and pick out which are the poems which have personification techniques and which are the poems which do not have personification techniques.
Okay.
And the time frame for this would be 2 lectures.
2 lessons. Okay. Would you like to go? Yes, please.
The topic is learning skills in analyzing
In analysis.
and reasoning.
Okay.
This is a small workshop of 1 day,
One
which I
day
have
workshop.
prepared for the postgraduates
Postgraduate
who
student.
are in the field of Dawah or Islah or Islamic studies. I have 8 students in my class. I have observed that they are good orators, good presenters, but when it comes in preparing a speech with analyzing things, I find them they require a lot of improvement.
Okay, so the difficulty is analyzing a speech.
Yes, analyzing speeches. So I would begin with a high open question. Suppose you are reading a newspaper and you come across a news with headlines saying that why is the world against Islam? So I would begin it by asking the question, how would you react to this? Would you throw away the newspaper, or would you pick up a pen and write, or you threaten the editor? How would you react? But naturally, the community expects you to react in a nice manner, and you do a research work and come out with a refutation. So we have 1 day for that. So each one of you will have to find out 3 relevant Quranic verses which supports your cause, and 3 hadiths which supports your cause, as well as the comments of few non-Muslims.
Okay.
And then draft your arguments. After that, each one of you will give a trial to his neighbor, and then the final presentation will be taking place.
Okay. Sounds good. Any comment? You don't want to comment? I can comment. I think the question that you raised need to be more specific. When you say that the world, what do you mean? You mean the rivers and the oceans? Or do you mean the politicians? Or do you mean the media? Do you mean the world populations? In general?
That's what I want my students to analyze. That
Okay,
they
you
should
have
begin
this
with
in mind that to
recitation.
analyze.
Yes.
Good. So I made good analysis for your question.
Alhamdulillah.
Okay, thank you. Okay, can we get your presentation? Do you want me here to present something? No. Okay, good.
This is for the class 4, grade 4. Subject is social studies. The lesson plan begins with the assessment of the students. The assessment part is that this class, mashallah, has high achievers students and average students, most probably. There are no slow learners in this class.
No slow learners.
No.
Okay. But the slow learners would be the one in the middle, because relatively to the others, right, they are slow learners.
Yes.
Do you understand the concept? We cannot say that there are no slow learners because they are slow in comparison with the high achievers. So I think these ones are. If there is a middle, you can say that high, lower, and middle. But if there is no middle, so it's either high achievers or low achievers. Okay, good.
And the topic is directions. The objective here would be the students will be enabled to draw the cardinal and intermediate directions.
To draw the map.
Cardinal and intermediate directions.
Okay, give you the directions.
And use it while mapping places.
Okay.
So this is the objective.
Good. Can you say it again? Students would be, by the end of the lesson,
By the end of the lesson, students will enable to draw cardinal and intermediate directions and use it while mapping places.
Okay. To draw whatever you mentioned correctly, right? Because if you don't say correctly, any drawing is acceptable, right? So we have to be very specific to draw it correctly or close to correctly, right? Okay, you can say 90% correctly. Yeah, do you understand what I'm saying? Okay, good.
And then I have started, like the activity would be, the teacher first begins with asking the students the prior knowledge about the topic and then highlights the importance of direction.
Can you give me an example about the questions that will be prior knowledge related to this?
Have you experienced anyone asking you a particular place and you
Yes.
have directed the person? So that would be about 5 minutes for the prior knowledge at the starting of the class.
Okay. Do you think 5 minutes is too much for this?
2 to 3 minutes.
Yes, yes. I think this is enough to know that they have had the experience. And this can be, do you know in 1 minute a person can talk 120 words? So 1 minute is too much. I don't think that it is little. Okay, so in 2 minutes you can cover such a thing. Okay, good. Yes.
Then as per the prior knowledge, the children do know about the cardinal directions. The teacher then introduces the intermediate or the subdivisions of directions. Cardinal directions would be north, south, east, west. But then the teacher brings about that there's no just a stop to these, but there are many more directions.
Okay.
And she introduces the topic. And then 1 or 2 children are asked to come up and draw the diagram on the board.
On the board.
Coming up on the board would be 1 or 2, but everyone can do it
Okay, now
along with it.
every student would do this, right? But 1 or 2 would come to the board. You have to be very clear, because I said that we want to evaluate that all students are engaged. Remember that. Okay, good.
Then once they are able to do it, the students are given an activity that's a worksheet, and they are asked to find which direction the places are given, and there are questions, a set of questions which ask which direction this place is situated in. So there's a worksheet given
Good.
where all the students are involved.
Thank you for this. We'll take a break and then we'll come back and make some comments on this. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuhu.
Hush, little baby, breathing so calm.
Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. Welcome back after the break. The sister was presenting her topic, and I'd like to get your comments or reactions. Are you waiting for my reaction? The people who sell you a product, they know you quite well. For example, they say that if you ask someone or show a product to a person, if he or she asks you a question, So the possibility of buying the product is very high. Keep nagging on him. Go after him. If the consumer or the buyer asks you any question, that means there is interest in him. So that's why they would never. The best thing, if you don't want to buy, don't speak. Right? So this is the technique if you don't want to buy. Because once you speak, they understand. All of them, they understand that you are going to buy. The possibility of buying is very high. So it's again, that by the same technique we said, we need to know how children learn. So they know how we buy, so we need to apply the same techniques. We should know how our children learn. When they enjoy a game, right? So they are learning. Okay? But Jazakumullah khair. I think, what did you benefit from this particular thing? That's saying that I have gone through this and this and this and this according to a lesson plan. What did you learn? One or two? Yes, please.
We realize that knowing is not enough, but to organize our knowledge in order to teach in a better way.
Yes, very good.
That the objective should be specific,
Should be
achievable,
specific. It's a key word in our topic, okay?
achievable and time bound.
Yes. Good. Another comment?
I've learned that with planning, I can make adequate and effective use of time
Yes.
without wasting any unnecessary
Yes.
amount
Now
of
I
it.
learned that I used to waste a lot of time. With lesson planning, I think we can reduce the amount of losses in the, right? That in our time. Good. This is effective use of time. Any other thing before we move?
Lesson planning is a hard work.
Oh, it is a hard work. Planning is a hard work. Because if you don't plan your house well, it will fall after a few days. Yeah, so planning and planning and planning. Yes, but once you do it, you practice it many times, it becomes very easy. Very easy. Making an operation is not easy, but because doctors do it many times, right, it becomes very easy for them. Right. Good. So the skill of making lesson plan. Very good. Now let's go to the last part of this session, which is, I will give you 1 minute to look at your notes, but when you want to talk, I want you to close everything. Close everything and tell me, what have you learned from these 3 days, long days, 200 days or so? Or, okay, tell me, what have you learned in words? I learned one word, like sharing. Okay, so you mentioned few words. For you, you think that they sum up what we have learned. There's nothing written here. It's not a test. I'm not writing anything, but I want to help you to develop this ability of summing up what you have learned in terms of words, between 7 and 10 words. Yes, it's an open discussion. Okay, you're not opening anything. Okay, good.
I have learned progression,
Progression,
focus,
focus,
resources,
resources,
plan.
plan, for. This is the maximum. Okay, can you explain to me, what do you mean by focus?
Focus would be enabling students to focus better on their work and
Okay.
engaging them by using effective and various teaching methods,
Okay.
which could include various techniques such as open and closed-ended questions.
Okay, now we're talking about focus. I think what you meant by focus, distributive focus.
Yes.
The focus is not just on knowledge,
Yes.
it's on knowledge, on
Thereby-
concepts, on right?
And skills.
Okay, so you're close enough. Okay, good, thank you. Another try. Okay, please.
I learned management, effectiveness,
Effectiveness,
creativity,
creativity, very good.
interactivity,
Interactivity,
skills,
skills,
focus,
focus, the same
distributive-
focus.
no, distributive focus,
Okay,
and discipline.
discipline. Okay.
That makes it 7.
Oh, that makes it 7. Good. I expect 10. But tell me, what do you mean by discipline?
Discipline, as you said, that we have to maintain discipline, whether the students or whether they are your supervisors or it is the principal. You go with your rules, you don't break them for anyone. So you
Okay.
have to maintain that discipline.
You meant, what I meant here is that we need to have a common discipline policy. And all of us understand it. That's what I meant. Okay. That's why I'm asking you to give me one word, and I want to double check that we are talking the same language. Okay, another one. Who wants to go? Yes?
student-centered, comparison,
Versus?
comparing local, state,
Okay. So
international level.
student-centered.
Student.
Okay. Good.
And comparison again, comparing, assessment,
Assessment.
yes, various assessment.
Okay.
And,
Assessment. Just tell me.
change,
Huh?
change, you need to change your teaching pattern.
Okay.
And challenges,
Challenge.
open, close question,
Open.
wrong question,
Good. What's the last one? Broad.
wrong question.
Wrong
You
question.
put out the wrong question and try
Okay.
to figure it out.
Good.
And even what do you call the vision,
The vision.
the level, higher level to
Okay.
step
Expectation.
one step high.
Oh, this one step high. Step ahead. Step ahead. Can you explain to me again one step ahead? What does it mean?
Whenever I teach my student, I should take him or her a step ahead,
Yes.
even in the teaching pattern, and see that, mashallah, there is improvement.
Okay. So I don't ask questions that are on the same level. Rather, I ask question that's a little bit above students' level. Because from their level to this level, this is where learning takes place. Okay? If it is on the same level, they are not learning. Right? If it is below, definitely they are not learning. Right? So they are reviewing. But if you're teaching them, so they have to jump from one point into another. Okay, good. What else? Yes, please, Abdurrahman.
This is not in any order of importance, but first thing would be discipline,
Okay?
then would be relevancy, then would be link,
Okay.
then it would be strategy.
You can repeat even the points that have been said. You're not going to invent something new.
Okay, then would be challenge,
Okay?
then would be thinking out of the box, what was mentioned as cognitive, metacognitive thinking.
Okay. Metacognitive thinking, this is a sentence, it's not a word. Anyway,
Yeah, thinking out of the box,
Okay.
the idea. I mean, I didn't
Okay.
get a word for it.
good.
Then you have a policy,
Policy,
then you have goals,
objectives.
yes, objectives, and you
Are
have
you talking about objectives or vision?
vision,
Vision for the school.
vision,
Okay.
yes, and the
They said,
finally,
let's talk a common language, right?
okay,
We use objectives in the lesson objectives. We use vision, something that will happen. Okay.
finally I learned patience.
Good. And patience. You learn patience. That's good. The thing that I want you to explain to me is the relevance. What do you mean by relevance?
Relevance, it is kind of related with the links part of it.
Okay.
But if you make the curriculum
Okay.
relevant to this time and age, that's one point.
Good.
Secondly, you can also make what we are teaching relevant to the students. For
Good.
example, you gave an example that the international levels of education, the IB standard,
Okay.
maybe the curriculum is set and the examples are not at the local level. So we need to make them at a
Okay,
local
to fill
level.
the gap
Yes.
and to make it relevant
Yes.
to the students. Because it has been proved that when you make relevance, students learn better. Okay.
They can relate with it better.
Yes, relate to it. Good. Good. Another try. Okay, go ahead.
Technology,
Technology. Okay.
bias, and collaboration.
Collaboration. Okay, can you explain to me the context of collaboration that we talked about?
I understood two things about collaboration. One is that me as a teacher, what I have learned, if I go in school back, I need to get along with my other teachers,
Okay.
collaboratively understand how we can make teaching effective. And secondly, in class, where the teaching can be collaborative and make the students learn collaboratively.
Okay, thank you. We have 2 minutes left. I remember one time in a debate between Clinton and others, so there were 2 minutes left, and each one of them would have to summarize his policy in one statement. So now say them quickly. Yes, sir. And we'll take one sister and we'll end it. Just say them.
Trust,
Huh?
trust,
Okay.
dedication.
Dedication. Did we talk about dedication? I don't recall that I used it, okay. But tell me, how did you learn it?
If the teacher is not dedicated towards his teaching, then
Okay.
the whole of the workshop is a failure.
Remember that in the beginning we said that all these words we're not talking about. Sincerity, dedication, and all these things we assume that any teacher does them. Okay, good.
Then trust,
Trust.
trust in Allah.
Trust in Allah. Okay.
Then the expertise,
Okay, expertise.
and then you also have dedication, trust,
Okay.
expertise.
Now my question is, are you sure that you attended this workshop or you attended somewhere else? Okay, good. Good. Thank you. Okay. I don't want to take everything serious, right? Sure, it's okay. But you know why I asked this question. Good.
Facilitator.
Facilitator. Now, yeah. Were you
Empowering.
here in this place?
Yes.
Yes. You see, facilitator. What else?
Empowering.
Empowering.
High expectation.
High expectations.
Metacognition.
Metacognition.
Involvement.
Involvement. Okay. What else?
Variety.
Oh no, you're getting
No, I'm
some
not repeating.
information. Okay, cheating. We'll go back to the brothers. Okay, I think you've done a very good job. Yes. Jazakumullah khair. Do you want to add something? The time is over, but I will hear you. Okay.
One last word is hope.
Hope.
As you said during the workshop that we hope for the rewards from Allah.
Inshallah. Jazakallah khairan. Thank you all. You've done a good job. And please, if you show my email address again, you still need to send me something, whatever you have shown me today, and if you want to send. And please, I expect all of you to send me your feedback about the workshop. And finally, I ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to forgive our mistakes that we have done, and inshallah to make us join Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wa sallam in paradise. Ameen. أقول قولي هذا وأستغفر الله لي ولكم وصلى الله على نبينا محمد وعلى آله وصحبه أجمعين. السلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته.
Little baby, pure and small, He created you, He created us all. Hush, little baby, don't you fear, we're never alone when Allah's so near. Hush, little baby, breathing so calm, He'll protect us all and keep us from harm. Hush, little baby, still and serene, you are a Muslim, Islam's your deen. Hush, little baby, pure and small, He created